Assalamu alaikum dear students. This is your teacher Afaq Ahmed. This is our fourth lecture of ninth week and date is 19th June 2020. Our topic for the day is active and passive voice. First of all, I'm going to explain the contents that what we are going to study in this lecture. Active voice, passive voice, their definitions and differences. That how active voice is different than passive voice. Active voice: in most English sentences with an action verb, the subject performs the action denoted by the verb. These examples show that the subject is doing the verb's action because the subject does or acts upon the verb in such sentences. The sentences are said to be in the active voice. For example, the man must have eaten 5 hamburgers. The man, which is the subject, is doing the eating, which is the action or the verb. Passive voice: one can change the normal word order of many active sentences, those with a direct object, so that the subject is no longer active but is instead being acted upon by the verb or passive. Note in these examples how the subject verb relationship has changed. For example, 5 hamburgers must have been eaten by the man. Hamburgers is the subject here and are being eaten is the verb. The letter was mailed by Marilyn. The letter is the subject here and was being mailed is the verb. Now you can see how the subject and verb relationship has been changed. Differences: active voice means that a sentence has a subject that acts upon its verb. Passive voice means that a subject is a recipient of a verb's action. You may have learned that the passive voice is weak and incorrect, but it is not that simple. When used correctly and in moderation, the passive voice is fine. In English grammar, verbs have 5 properties: voice, mood, tense, person, and number. Here we are concerned with voice. The two grammatical voices are active and passive. Active voice, the difference between active voice and passive voice, now it is starting properly. In active voice, when the subject of a sentence performs the verb's action, so we say that the sentence is in active voice. Sentences in the active voice have a strong, direct, and clear tone. Here are some short and straightforward examples of active voice. Monkeys adore bananas. The cashier counted the money. In passive voice, the same for the difference. In passive voice, a sentence is in the passive voice. On the other hand, when the subject is acted on by the verb, the passive voice is always constructed with a conjugated form of to be plus the verb's past participle here, means to say third form of verb. Doing this usually generates a preposition as well. That sounds much more complicated than it is. Passive voice is actually quite easy to detect. For these examples of passive voice, we will transform the three active sentences above to illustrate the difference. Bananas are adored by monkeys. The money was counted by the cashier. Thank you so much.